Hi, I'm Mark Pearce from Intelligent Triathlon Training. I wanted to share with you a few of my thoughts today about swimming, more specifically the lack of swimming at the moment. Now we've got a lot of athletes around the world who are unable to swim because pools are closed. There are a few lucky ones of course, with endless pools or living warm enough places to be able to swim in the sea, or who are unaffected by the current situation. But the majority of swimmers are now being affected by the inability to get in a swimming pool and practice. And so we see some fairly extreme examples of people resorting to different techniques to try and maintain their swimming form or replicate their swimming form. And one of the things I wanted to say today was stop. Think. The only way you can replicate swimming is to swim. Let me say that again. You can only practice swimming by swimming in water. It is the only way of doing it. Period. You can mess around on dry land with bands, cords, devices, swim benches, etc., etc. But what you are not doing is you are not replicating swimming. You are imitating some of the actions and missing out some of the other actions. Swimming as a whole is a whole body exercise that is in a fairly dense, fairly supportive substance. And unless you're actually in there doing it, you're not replicating swimming. So from my perspective, a lot of these devices that are designed to help try and mimic swimming or replace swimming are relatively pointless, because in a lot of cases they don't allow you to be able to actually do what they say they are able to do. Now let me give you one illustration about why swim benches and devices like swim benches don't really have the effect that a lot of people would like you to believe that they do, particularly the manufacturers, of course. Now, let me just pop you down over here a second. I need you to be fairly low while I do this. Okay, so here we have a trusty Swiss ball. And if I lay on my Swiss ball, I can get myself into a nice flat position. And I can stick an arm out in front as if I've just put it in the water. However, if you're doing freestyle properly, when you put this hand in the front water, you won't have your shoulders flat, and you won't have your hips flat. You'll be on your side. And I cannot, for the life of me, get on this Swiss ball and replicate that position without an enormous amount of other compromises. And I'm over here, I'm to twist, I'm trying to support, I've got my legs splayed out of the back to try and balance it. It's not swimming. I'm not doing, and I haven't even started doing it yet. Okay, I'm here, I've got my hand in the water at the front, and let's assume I can hold myself here. I can get myself onto the side, I can put my head down in a neutral position, and I can practice my catch. Oh, that's great. Oh, there's a problem. I've got this here. Let's just pop you down a little bit so you can see my hand. I'll go back further away. As you come through here, even if I take into the fact that the ground's too close, if I come through here, I can't catch through here. So if I've got a swim band attached to here and I'm trying to do this, I can't do that. And correct freestyle swim stroke requires this hand somewhere underneath your shoulder or in the sort of silhouette of your body. If you're doing the Instagram swim stroke that only the very, very best pros can do properly, and you're doing a lovely high elbow and you're out here, and it looks great from the side, but this hand is miles out to the side, you're doing fly. You're doing single arm fly. You're going to weave down the pool a little bit, or you're going to overload your shoulders. You're not recruiting your lats, you're not recruiting your pecs properly. So to catch properly, you need to be on your side here and able to roll your hips in, roll your shoulders through as this comes through here. About this point here, my hands should be deeper, there should be less of an acute angle here, and I should be relatively square, more or less. Obviously there's a little bit of a range of motion. I'm not trying to teach you to swim at the moment, so don't get all cross with me on that. Most people would agree that somewhere along the lines here, don't want to be over here, but somewhere along the lines of here, but none of these devices enable me to be able to pull through here. So yeah, that's not going to work. Combined with the fact that I can't actually rotate and roll without falling off and wiggling around all over the place, I can't replicate swimming. End of. Let's just finish that conversation there and then. So what can you do? Let's bring you back up here a little bit more. Surely you don't want to be getting that view. Bit Heath Robinson on this display. So what can you do whilst you can't get in the water? Well, the first thing you can do is relax about it. There's not a lot you can do about it. You can't manufacture water. We've established that you can't replicate the swimming action unless you're in the water. So the first thing to do is relax. During lockdown 1, whatever you want to call it, we had quite a lot of swimmers, and I know a lot of other coaches had a lot of swimmers going to extreme measures to try and maintain their swimming, and others who just relaxed and rolled with it. Most people within 6 to 8 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks of getting back in the water, by the end of the summer, were back to pretty close to where they were before before we went into lockdown. And that was without doing anything particularly special. Now, there are things that you can do to help improve your swimming whilst you can't get in the water that don't involve water or silly devices. You can work on things like your mobility, and I don't just mean around your shoulders. So a lot of people, particularly age group swimmers, and I know a few pros, who can spend a lot of time working on the mobility around their shoulders, increasing the length of the lats, in order to get themselves into a better position so that they can be a little bit more slippery in the water, or they can develop a little bit more strength, or they don't fatigue as much because they're not operating right at the very end of their range of motion. So you can work on your mobility. I would say a recent convert, but it's not really recent anymore now. For the last couple of years, I've been quite keen on athletes that I coach doing yoga of some form or another. And that is a great way of helping to improve the range of motion and introducing a little bit of dynamic strength into it as well. You could go to the gym if you could get into a gym, or you can create your own home gym where you're actually doing functional strength movements rather than trying to mimic swimming. You're using, strengthening, developing, learning to control the muscles that you require for swimming. So things like your rotator cuffs, your lats, engaging all of those properly and supportively, so that when you get back in the water, you're actually able to use them much more effectively. And it doesn't just stop at the shoulders. A lot of people think swimming, a lot of people focus upon the shoulders and that side of things in swimming. Most people who have poor body position, it's got nothing to do with them having heavy feet. There are very few people I know with heavier legs and heavier feet than me. Anybody who's ridden with me will know my calves are big. I won't go into any more detail, it's not necessary. But I don't sink because I spend a lot of time practicing the engagement, the activation to be able to maintain a good body position. And that comes from using your glutes, recruiting your glutes, squeezing your glutes. See a previous video I did on that. And keeping your ankles nice and flexible but strong. Again, runners quite often complain that they can't get flexible ankles because they've been running for too long and it hurts their running. It's not strictly speaking true. Yes, it is more difficult, I'll give you that in a lot of cases, but I also know some very good runners who are able to put their feet into the right position. Once you can get that pressure on the water, it helps to keep your body position up. That reduces your resistance, and without swimming, you've suddenly improved your swim speed. So there are plenty of things that you can do. That's just my thoughts on where we are with the current situation on swimming at the moment. And if I had one take-home message from this, it would be, don't panic. Have fun. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the other things that you can do. Enjoy more riding, enjoy more running, enjoy your conditioning work, get into some yoga. All those sorts of things can be beneficial to your overall program and your swimming. Hopefully I haven't annoyed you too much. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully I've made you think a little bit, maybe helped you along the way, I don't know. If I have, please like it. Please like my video. I'm pretty new to this game. And if you wouldn't mind, you could please subscribe. That would be very helpful as well. The more people who subscribe, the more videos I'll do, because the more people I know are watching them. So it's a win-win situation if you like it. If you don't like it and you don't like it, then I won't post any more. Anyway, that's me for today. See you next time. Bye-bye.